Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone had a great Shabbos. I hope your head wasn't in the gutter, okay? But we're going to see a positive way to understand that statement also, if we can allow ourselves to explore Rabbi Nachman's of Breslov's teachings, which I've never really done. I know some people say that I'm so bad. Some people say that what I'm doing is sort of resonates with that, and I don't really know to say that whether that's true or not. So, because I haven't learned it. It's gonna fall again. I don't know what to do. I'm charging it while it's standing here, so it's like on a thread. Good morning. It's gonna fall again. Okay, let me just test it. No, it's gonna fall. Okay, we'll try. So we're gonna get back to that topic. Not necessarily Breslov so much, but we're gonna learn his teachings, I think. If we get around to it, I got a lot, and there's no time at all. So I'm gonna have to make a decision how long to spend on things. But I don't want to overwhelm anyone, because what's the point? It's got to be in pieces. So I first want to read to you the thought that I had this morning. Two thoughts. Usually there's a connection, because chronologically that's the way they occurred to me, so your mind wanders. But we're going to learn today in today's Tanya what it means to have your head in the gutter. If it says, Melech Asur Berehitim, the king's head is in the gutter. That's one way of translating it, okay? But it's from Shir Hashirim. You can translate it completely differently. Okay, the Chassidus brings it out that way. Shir Hashirim, it's a verse 7:6, okay, of Song of Songs. It says, Reishech alayach kakarmel, v'dalas reishech ka'argomon, melech asur barahotim. I said it a bit wrong before, barahotim, tresses. The head upon you is like crimson wool. The locks of your head are like purple. The king is held captive in tresses. Oh my goodness, think about what that means. I never realized what that means. But in its literal level, I wrote a poem about it. But I'm trying to bring out something here so you can't have your head in the gutter, because I'm actually talking primarily about Aaron's beard. But it has different connotations at different levels, so that's obviously intended also. But we're talking about Shishbina de Matranissa. Aaron HaKayin was anointed with oil, which is wisdom, and it comes onto his beard. Good morning. His beard represents Yud Gimel Tikkun Dikna, it's called in the Zohar. The 13 tufts of God's beard, which is 13 attributes of mercy. We're gonna look into what mercy is in today's Tanya if we have time. But first, for some poetic thought, okay? Which is basically directly from Song of Songs. I didn't even realize. It was a simple meaning, because I got about 6 translations for the word Berhotim, if that's the actual way to pronounce it in the context of the Song of Songs. I thought it was called Berhitim in other places. We'll see, maybe there'll be other sources that have it stated differently. But the original pasuk, Shir Hashirim, okay? Because it says in the Zohar on these words that Hashem is in Hiti Meicha. That is from Tikkun Zera. Hey, suffix to the Tikkun Zera, okay? Good morning. That's the way they interpret that verse in Shir Hashirim. That God is, I always thought it meant in binds made out of mayach, or I thought it meant sinews, like dried sinews. I guess are very strong. I guess that's how they bound people in the olden days. But that's not the way it's translated here. I got tons of translations on this, and it's gutters, and it explains in Tanya that context. That's the meaning, it means gutters. That's the commentary of the Tikkun Zohar to tell you that it draws water like a gutter. Doesn't have to be a bad one. We'll see 2 interpretations of this if we get around to it, okay? Because my head's spinning with ideas. Okay, so let's try and do this systematically with no time to spare and no time. So I first want to say these words. Glistening, captive in locks of tresses. Are you captive? You feel bound and constricted? Or is your constriction being enamored by and being under the enchantment of your relationship with Hashem? And check out Shir Shirim if you want an excuse to find it awesome. Good morning. Awesome and captivating to learn the secrets of the Torah. What it means. We're going to learn in Tanya what this means, okay? Because it has a spiritual meaning. We'll also look up the original source and see some commentaries on the Rashi and everything if we have time. So glistening, captive in locks of tresses. In Shir Shirim, the king is peering between the cracks to behold Matronissa, the Shechina, the Knesset Yisrael, you. Okay, you. That's what I'm talking about, you. God is peering out, waiting for you. What holds us back from just embracing that? I think it's fear of too much glory from God. We're not ready for it. It has to be at our level, which means you have to be able to interpret things in a healthy way. If God's hand is in everything, everything is good. But to be able to appreciate that, you have to really follow the teachings of Chassidus, and you have to have a lot of faith. That's the key to that. But if you do that, then those locks become beholdenness, being transfixed by God's beauty. That can be, we'll see when Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, okay, because I've never learned Breslov, I don't think it's on, maybe once or twice in my life. I used to read his stories when I was just becoming religious, so somewhere I guess it does resonate with me, my soul. And it has had some impact, like at a foundational level, but I just never turned back to it after I became Chabad. So we'll look into that. Okay, then I had another thought. He stands at the threshold, footstep of a mountain. Okay, this is a bit unusual haiku style. It's like I made 4 lines out of it, okay? Sue me. But it's still the same idea. You have an action, someone's standing at the threshold. But what is that threshold? It's a step, it's a footstep. But he's at the footstep of a mountain. If a threshold is a very confined, constricted space, and you're walking into a small room, it's not something that is marchiv, the das of Adam. We said there's 3 things, right? Bais na, isha na, and the third one eludes me. They expand your mind, they make you have more das, the more ability to appreciate and be grateful for what all the good that you do have. If you take on that mindset that everything is God and infinity exists within the goodness, the finite goodness in your world, and you just have to open up to it, that's the threshold of a mountain. That's the footstep. That means you're not standing anymore in beholdenness. You're drawn towards the tresses, that your locks, your beholdenness, your fixation in the world becomes God's beauty, seeing God's beauty in everything in your life. That's the message I want to give, okay? Now I want to interrupt the program to share with you a thought that Rabbi Merkur posted. Oh, this is not the one, I don't think. Yes, it is. Okay, I did bookmark it right, but this time on my iPad, so that's, if the phone's not, my camera's not dropping on the floor, and I'm not having problems with my iPad, I'm doing good. So I'm going to just read this. I'm going to say it quickly. You can look it up. It's going to help me get into the next topic, I think. It really all came from a Yom Yom. Oh my goodness, are we going to go there too? It talks about the very essence, the mahus of the Nakudas Hayadus, it's the central point of being Jewish. What is that? It's totally enamorment with God, okay? It totally fits in today's Yom Yom. And I have the whole context here in the Hayom Yom Hamavur, okay? And it's beautiful. But let's just first read this. I know this a lot. I'm really overwhelming people today, aren't I? Sundays, I can't resist. I just feel like, well, why would I even rush if I was that kind of guy during the week? It's Sunday. This is my, I don't know. So I'm a naughty boy for not davening earlier. I like to spend a moment of inspiration before davening. What can I say? I was up at 5:45. There's a certain ironic paradox of the individual in a low spiritual state. It is specifically him that draws God's kindness into the lowest of places. Okay, this is the Alter Rebbe, okay? It's this individual. This is a paradox, okay? Someone who's in a low spiritual state, that's the one that draws God's kindness to him. That is completely against Musar. This is a revolutionary statement, okay? Look it up. It's not, this is the Alter Rebbe. Hashem's, I think he translated this directly. I haven't actually been through it myself. I'm trusting his translation, or it's his paraphrasing, which to me is equally good. I trust him. When he paraphrases something, he really captures the spirit of it. That's why, like, he's one of the few people that I read his stuff. I would say the only person that I read, besides Rabbi, like the Rebbes. I happen to listen to other people, Y.Y. Jacobson in particular, and Yossi Potil, and I love talking to Rabbi Wagner. But this is one of the few people whose works I actually read. I don't read anybody's stuff. And that's not to be arrogant, it's just to say I like to make my mind. Hashem's attitude of unlimited kindness is compared to water. Just as water flows, this is the justification for this revolutionary idea. So God's like water, just as water flows ever lower. Hashem's expression flows to furthest location possible. It's the irony apparent in the prison inmate. Are you trapped? Are you bound? That's why I wanted to read this. It resonates perfectly with this idea of being locked in tresses. Oh my goodness, is that beautiful? Shir Shirim. Are you locked in Verhiti Meicha, which I thought meant sinews? It means the gutters. Are you stuck in the gutters? Okay, in the negative sense? Are you drawing godliness down, God forbid, into a place where you're bringing the Shekhinah into an inappropriate place, God forbid? That's against the king's will. It's the crown of God's head. Nafla teres v'sheinu eino lanu ki chatanu. That's what we say in Tikkun Chatzos. There fell the crown of our head. Woe unto us, because we have sinned. The sin is drawing the preciousness of the Shekhinah into dirt. Is your head in the gutter, okay? There's going to be a good gutter we're going to see. Because that's what I think it's all about. It's all about transforming this. And that's what this post here by the Alter Rebbe. I mean, it's maybe paraphrased or translated by Rabbi Markel. It's awesome words, okay? Beautifully said. It's irony apparent in prison inmate. Outside of prison, the indigent, do you use that word? Must knock on doors to collect alms. But in prison, bread and other sustenance is brought to him. God, the prison warden, as if, is locked in your tresses, your beauty, and serves you in prison. That is like, how could people just say teachings of terror? It's beautiful terror. If you don't have $500 million to make Dark Phoenix, you be the Dark Phoenix and teach it from Shir Shirim. What do you think that is? I mean, Al-Havdil, and I mean like Shlomo Melech, besides some like Hollywood dude who's writing a story and trying to captivate you. I like it because it's a visualization of power, and I think that's important for us to tap into. We don't have that, really. Thank God. I mean, some power is terror. We don't want to see that. We want to see beauty, the power of beauty, to be terrified of the Shekhinah. Oh, those words. To be terrified of the Shekhinah. I've spoken about that before, so I don't want to dwell on that now. I want to continue reading. A person should not think to himself, woe unto me, I'm too low to attain any form of expression of Hashem's unity. God won't come into my world. I'm too lowly for that. I'm dragging, if I'm going to drag God, I'm dragging him into the gutters. For the opposite is the case. Being that he is incarcerated, right? You're in the exile, you're in Mitzrayim, unable to ascend. There's people in your world. Oh, I wanted to mention my friend, the hip hop guy, okay? Let me just see if I can, I'm going to lose everything. Let me just see if I can find it. Oh, here, let me just go here for a second. Erez Shmuel Amzalag, okay? He's always writing about, fascinatingly, to be on the cutting edge of something, you have to have tremendous guts to give up everything, okay? You could quote Eminem, what is called 8 Mile or something like that. This is the theme of that, right? You have one chance, you have an opportunity to chaparine, in Yiddish terms more. But someone who's on the cutting edge, who has to stand out, everybody's going to tell them, specifically the people that he grew up with, because people that he grew up with, I'm just extrapolating, okay? I'm projecting on him. I don't know his situation exactly. I just know that this is an issue in general. There's some people who doubt him and some people who encourage him. Which voice is in your head? If you're on the cutting edge of anything, your own existence, you're on the cutting edge of your existence, okay? If you have a hip-hop guy, then you're really taking you on a limb, okay? You want to do something holy? Like I met Matisyahu before he was famous in the Yam Jam in front of 20 people. He was just doing, what's it called? Off the cuff. What's it called? When you just free form rapping, okay? He was talking in Yanim from Tanya. He was speaking about concepts in Tanya, mysticism. It was awesome. Okay, I knew he was a star. Similarly, I once the Rabbi Y.Y. Jacobson, he was speaking in 770, and I was standing beside my Mashpia, Rabbi Lipsker, who's his uncle, right? And I say, who is this? He says, it's Yossi Jacobson. It's my nephew. And then he says, he's a rising star. I thought those were beautiful words to say about his nephew, and recognizing that he's a real gifted person. So there's other gifted people. There's this hip-hop artist, okay? I haven't heard too much of his stuff, especially during the tweaks, but I've heard some of it, and I think he's very talented. So what's to say you can't make a sign with Sony? Who says you can't? Follow your dreams. So what? If you fall on your face, you're going to starve to death? You're not going to starve to death, okay? There's been starving artists all through history that gave their life to do what they did. If you have a dream, follow it. You only live once. Follow your dream. The Torah is your power. It's the voice inside you. It's the Shekhinah that tells you, I love you, I believe in you, and you're going to do this. You're going to succeed. And if you don't, you succeed in my eyes, and that's all that matters. Your Shekhinah, whatever you value in your life, that's what I mean. But it resonates in different levels. Good morning. It's an awesome irony that it is the person in the lowest state who brings the dira, the dwelling of Hashem's presence, to the lowest tachtainim, the lowest dimension, the lowest frame of experience. Such is the power of Torah and mitzvahs given at Mount Sinai, that they cause a revelation of Hashem's unity, no matter who does them. Whether they be Moshe or an individual, in the lowest of places, they perform the same acts and study the same words. It is through the lowest man who brings the deepest waters to the cages of prison, for no one is too low to be able to feel Hashem. And he speaks here about drawing water, which is exactly what it speaks about in today's Tanya. I don't know if it would have been nice to him to say that this resonates with today's Tanya and link it, but I guess that's my job. I got this chus. I mean, Pinchas got a chus, because God made Moshe forget. The Rebbe has an amazing sikha that I just learned from my genius friend, Rabbi Miller, who wrote about the summary of the Rebbe's sikha on that. Awesome. It's a bit over my pay grade at the moment to squeeze that in, though, fortunately. It's an awesome teaching. In his GUTTER Chumash, the famous Chumash. I hope he really succeeds. He's another person on the cutting edge, and everybody knows that. I don't have to tell you that. I just like to. I mean, it's very hard for people, because nobody really supports you from where it counts, right? You have to go begging alms like a prisoner, not a prisoner, like a, what did he call him? A really interesting word, an indigent. Have you ever used that word before? Indigent. So, okay, now let's jump to the Tanya. Chapter 7 in Igeres HaTshuva. I want to go through it quickly because I want to go to these sources. I want to see the Rashis. I want to see the Rebbe Nachman. I want to get to it. It's already very late. I don't really care, but people are so sensitive when you daven late, and they're like just pulling at your beard tresses. I had someone just follow me now. I couldn't. It was really weird. Okay, I don't like being severe with people, but some people just don't have the mind space to welcome everybody. And you're supposed to say Maktim Shalom L'Chol Adam, I think it says in Pirkei Avos. Be the first to say hello. I say hello, but I can't necessarily have a conversation when I'm walking down the street, preparing a shir. Goodness sakes. I mean, I'm afraid I'm going to forget my thoughts, my haikus, which carry ideas. Okay, so Perek Zayin, okay, it's called Shvivim Chavivim. Sevens are beloved. Igeres HaTshuva. The way of truth. Okay, let me just get comfortable with that. Okay, then we'll get to the other things. The Hayom Yom's beautiful. Also, it totally fits in I don't know if we can do that today, unfortunately. I really want to get to the Yom Yom also. Okay. However, the way of truth and the straight path to return God's letter Hey to his name, take the Shekhinah out of the muck. All right, what do we call it? Head in the gutter. Watch. Hanal. Based Varim there called. These are two respects. Aleph, he goes on like about each one, okay? Firstly, to arouse supernal mercy from the source of mercy. He distinguishes here in the commentary between Avarachamon and Avarachamim. Avarachamon is a measured. Remember we spoke about God only gives you what you can handle. Only so much goodness, or that you'll be able to interpret as good. You don't know what things are good for you. You should always be thankful for any revealed good you have in your life, because that is a gift from God in the most real, absolute way. Thank God for that, okay? We have our limitations. That's what holds back God. An angel told me that, okay? Our limitations, I interpret that to mean our anxieties, our fears, our feeling of, am I on the cutting edge? Am I worthy to be on the cutting edge of whatever world? To step out, okay? Stepping Out is an interesting song, okay? It was Joe Jackson. Good. So then there's Avarachamim. There's merciful Father and Father of mercies. That's the source of all mercy. That's beyond measure. God is not going to constrain you. I guess it's overt also, because then how could it be pushed upon you unless it's overt? So we're supposed to do that to our soul. We want to have mercy on our soul. But really we're having mercy on the spark of godliness within us, the Shekhinah within us, that's begging to have a way to express itself. Listen to the Shekhinah I speak about in terms of davening it, okay? But this is your soul. Other places says the Shekhinah soul or Knesset Yisrael. You have the macrocosm, microcosm, okay? Stay with me. Learn these ideas. Let me quote them just as a phrase and know what I'm talking about, because you're following these ideas step by step with me. Come with me on my journey. Else, find somebody you really make time for. Okay? Someone that, I know people are busy, okay? So work out every day and listen to my share. Come with me on a journey, okay? Hold my hand on a journey. Let's go together without extra strength, charging through, I don't know, the battlefield. So you have to have mercy on your soul that fell from a great height, the source of life, Labira Miksa, to a great valley, which is the evil of the world, okay? Or the other forces in the world, I should say. And mercy upon the source, which goes of Yishuv al Hashem v'Yachameyu. You have to mercy on Hashem and bring him back to his honor, place of honor, which we said it was purple. Incidentally, I was talking about sapphire. Here we're talking about purple in this pasuk in Shir Hashirim, in this verse in Song of Songs. Purple, we got to look into purple. I think I have some sources on it. We'll see. It's the silk, isn't it? No, that's crimson also. The silk is crimson. Scarlet. We have to look into the Hebrew words, and we might need some Ivrit-speaking people here to help me out on that. Good morning. So you have to have mercy on the spark of godliness, okay? Okay, we get that now, right? When we bring our head into the gutter, that's Melech Asur Bar Hatim. That's the king that we spoke about in the Song of Songs. That's bound in Hatim, which we translated as tresses. I wanted to say that's Shishbina de Matronissa, Aaron, okay? Because there's a verse in Psalms that speak about the oil pouring down on his beard when he was anointed, which is Chochmah going into his, expressed through kindness, which is the beard. The head upon you is like crimson wool. Oh, here we call it crimson. The word in Hebrew is argamon, which I always thought meant purple. Here it says crimson. The locks of your head are like purple. Oh, Reshek caramel. Oh, caramel. Caramel? I didn't know that meant, I thought it meant caramel. That's what I thought. I mean, I grew up hearing a word, thought it meant caramel. Here it means that's crimson. The hair upon you is like crimson wool. And the locks of your head are like purple. Melech Asur V'Hotim. A king held captive in the tresses. I wanted to say that means Sheshpinin Matri is Aaron's beard, which had 13 tufts. But here we'll see what Tanya says, okay? Here they translate, I looked it up in the English, okay? I have it here, but you'll trust me. It says in the gutter. And that's the context it says here. It brings the Yiddish, I don't know the Yiddish. It says, Kares tes abgetelung von Mayach. Mayach I thought was, okay, it says Al derech rahatim sharatzim bam hamayim, like gutters. Or you could think of something more pleasant, like a mikveh pipe, okay? Something made of marble, okay? You know, it's going to be positive later, okay? But here we're talking about gutters because he's bringing it, channeling into darkness, into the gutters, the real gutters of the world. That's the Galus of Shechina, okay? And the way to arouse mercy is supposed to be early to inspire you, okay? And that's bringing up the crown of Hashem's head. And it says God isn't a humiliated king. Okay, you have to have compassion on the humiliated. Here we're doing on that the fact that we drew, God forbid, godliness into somewhat an inappropriate place. And that's called, there's no greater humiliation than this. Okay, there's other places that you could look up in Tanya. It speaks about it at more length. And it also speaks about Yaakov kissing Rachel in this context. Okay, so look that up. It's beautiful. Totally the most beautiful thing. The second way is to do bitush, which is spoken about in chapter 29. Look it up there. Bitush is an unfortunate place that you have to go at certain times. You have to like make yourself feel humbled on purpose, okay? But that's if you can't daven. You have to have an open heart. If you have an open heart, I don't think you should be doing this. I think it's wrong. That's the way I learned it from Rabbi Dubinsky when I was in yeshiva. He says it's a prescribed meditation for people who cannot daven. You're supposed to make yourself feel very lowly. Remember, we just learned that that's where God reaches out to those people. So this is the process of doing it without being humiliated, but rather drawing humility into yourself. That's called Zivke Elokim, okay? Look it up, Ruach Nishbar, language of broken heart, okay? Look all that up and get into that at length. So you have to make an accounting, and you bring the Shechina out. That's the lower type of tshuva. And you take the hay, the Shechina that came into the world through your actions, you bring that back. The higher tshuva, greater repentance is when you just want to get close to God. Suggle, purple is suggle, and Argaman is crimson? That's what you're saying? If so, I thank you for being mechadish that to me. And then he goes on in chapter 7 to speak about clouds that block God's rays from shining. So the things that, the voices inside you that keep you back when you're in exile, when you're in Mitzrayim, the limitations of the world, those are the things you want to remove through tshuva. And even very fine, misty clouds, when they're coupled one on top of the other, it's called mitzvahs that are people dash with their heels, they trample over them. Those also, it's cumulative, it builds up, and it prevents the godly light to shine through your soul. And that's the Galus of Shechina also. Okay, we're moving pretty fast. 10:20, not too bad for a Sunday. Okay, now I'm just going to try and go through these sources, because I think I know I did that a bit fast, but you could look it up. I'm just trying to string an idea along for you. I want to bring out the positive in it, though. I want to show you that the gutters can be a marble channel of water, rainwater, that comes to be the source of purity in your mikvah, okay? We'll see where Rabbi Nachman goes with it. That's my feeling of where it should be. And that's the Aaron's beard, dripping from Aaron's beard. Okay, so it quotes that verse in Shir Shirim, king captive by tresses. Oh, is that beautiful. Are you so beautiful and glorious to God because He knows you're inside and He knows what you're doing is meant for good? Are you so confident that you could stand before God in that genuine, sincere moment, in a vulnerable moment of being looked upon? Are you beautiful to God? Because God's beauty is not the way Hollywood judges beauty. God's beauty is when He sees a heart that opens up to Him and to other people, obviously. To be sensitive to people, to be true to yourself and sensitive to other people. Oh, I don't know if I finished about my friend, okay, I think I did. You're on the cutting edge. And half the people are telling you, half the world you get rid of, half the world you let them live, right? There's a positive to that too, that idea. Okay, these are ideas that come into popular culture for a reason. If you come across an idea, you have to learn from it. I'm telling you, your life will be miserable if you look at the people that are doubting you. If they have a different shita than you, talk about the shita. Oh, you believe in concealing the secrets still after the Baal Shem Tov, the Arizal, the Baal Shem Tov, the Alter Rebbe, the Friedrich Rebbe, and the Rebbe himself? You still, and after Mashiach and Kayak Nissen and 28th of Nissen and all that, and the Rebbe says it's starting with the individual, you still feel that your approach, your ideology is more impactful than me? So tell me. I'm an open-minded person, so tell it to me. But don't tell me because you think that. Don't impose views on other people. Show them the beauty of your view. When you want to show a beautiful face to God, go with your best foot forward. Present yourself to the world, to God, as someone who has integrity and sincerity and love of humanity and God, because it's all one. Rashi says this verse is talking about the tefillin of your head, which I talk about at length. I'm going to try and hold back on that. And all the peoples of the world will say that the name of Hashem is proclaimed over you, and they will fear you. See, Zechariah, this is their strength, and they are as awe-inspiring as a cliff of the mountains. Oh, I was writing about a mountain, and Mount Carmel is the most prominent of the mountains. I should have said it's Mount Carmel. Oh, maybe I'll change it. Oh, someone please remind me to do that if I forget. I think I should change it to, and it's a crimson mountain? How beautiful is that? Oh my goodness. Okay, here's another Rashi. The braided hair of your Nazarites. The braided hair of your Nazarites are as beautiful with commandments as braided. It's missing words, I don't know. Look it up, okay? Another Rashi. In the braid of your head, it is called dalas because the braid is lifted up. Do you uplift people? Do you stare people down or do you uplift them? An angel told me that. Uplift people when you look at them. Smile at people. Don't stare them down. Even your detractors. Smile them up. Say, you are my strength and you are making me strong. Thank them. That's the fish that goes against the stream, or the person who works on himself is a strengthening. There's Hayom Yom is speaking about that at length today. It will get me overwhelmed. Okay. Hush. Your king is bound in tresses, says Rashi. The name of the omnipresent is bound in the Nazir's locks. How do they call Nazir? Nazir, which means, I think, crown, doesn't it? Nazir HaKadosh. It also means, I guess, is it anointed also? It's a crown, isn't it? The Nazir, isn't that a crown? Here's talking about Nazir al-Kav. He's talking about his locks. No, the crown. It actually translates it that way. From being a prosek in Devarim 28:10, it says the crown of his God is upon his head. Nazir al-Kav al-Reisheh. What's the crown of God? The glory of Hashem. Teres Baila. It's the Matronis, it's the Jewish people. It's you. You. Make yourself beautiful. Have beautiful tresses before God. Okay? Don't drag it into the gutter. Make that gutter the literal meaning of it, okay? And draw it into a good place. Draw it into a mikveh water. Beauty. Purity. That's beauty, is the purity to God. The channeling of energy into your life for holiness. That is where you become a merkava to not what it says in Tanya Parak 7 of the Igras Tshuva, not to the dark forces. You channel God and you become a merkava, a chariot, riding on this chariot of godliness. You're just bringing light into the world. That's what it's talking about, okay? Of being beholden by beauty, by tresses, by you wanting to bring goodness to the world and don't listen to a single person that tells you differently. It doesn't matter if you starve. Who cares? It's worth starving for. I'm telling you, this rapper right now, okay, let me get his name again. I want to say his name again. I'm sorry. It doesn't flow off my tongue. I'm pretty bad at that. Erez Shmuel Amzalag. Okay? You just inspire me, okay? Because I think you're the type of person that's on the cutting edge and needs someone to... I have other friends like that. They don't like to... They're very shy. Makes it hard to be an artist or someone in public eye if you're shy. Very hard. Okay, and you'll get so many voices around you telling you to shut up. And so what do you live for? Are we all sheep? Do we have to be that person? That's the half we get rid of. Pinchas Eliyahu. Okay, my friend Yaakov Benkel just spoke about that. Check out his video, it's cute. And it's holy words of the Rebbe, communicated with a smile. Okay, it's beautiful. But I really want you to appreciate the power of what means Pinchas is Eliyahu. What are you telling me? A guy that comes later, that's who Pinchas was? Who is Eliyahu? It's Matat, he came before. I don't think he said this in his thing, but it's the power of an angel. It's Matat, we don't say the full name. Matat and then Tron. It's not like awesome name. Okay, it's terrifying to think of it. It's Yitzira, it's Oilma Yitzira. It's God's Yud Kei Vav Kei. It speaks about in Tanya, which shapes itself with the Yud on top, the two haze on either side of the arms. Remember, the hands and the arms embracing is all the haze, and then the Vav, the torso that draws down. It's a lot. I know. I'm just beholden in the tresses, the beauty of the terrace, beholden by it. That's what it's about. Be locked in Kedusha and Ne'ilah. Where are you locked? You're locked in with God for the whole year. A year of purity. Only wanting goodness. That makes you beyond the ability for other people to look into you, because you have an integrity to God. You answer to God. And then it doesn't matter what someone says. That's the half you just say. I'm going to listen to your thing. I'm going to weigh it. And then I'm going to decide whether I'm going to reject it. If it's an ideological advantage, I'm going to take it on, and you're right. If it's not, please don't impose it on me. Finished. That's the discussion you have to have. It could take 5 minutes, or it could take a day or a year. Think about things until you feel that this is what the Rebbe demands of you. Why I say the Rebbe? Because the Rebbe has vision for every single person. If other people do, good for you. So I mean something else for you. Rashi. This is what they call the girding laces with which they tie the girdles. Oh my goodness, is that beautiful. I don't write this stuff. Another explanation of your king is bound in its tresses. The Holy One, blessedly, is bound with love to you through your fulfillment of his commandments and through the swiftness. Rahatim, it's rahat, it runs. It races like flame shooting across, I don't know what, with which you run before him. Are you beautiful the way you run? Your tresses bounce in the wind, okay? Is that your romantic image of yourself? Thank you. That's beautiful encouragement. I really appreciate that. I hope everyone here has a chelik, and any power that I have, I could give this with a little bit more power, and it's coming from you. You're with me, believe me. Okay? If you believe in me, I don't mean believe in me. We should go you. Come on. Don't impose crazy things on someone that has a record of being sane. It's stupid. Don't tell me that I think I'm Mashiach. It's just meant to shut me up and saying, I'm uncomfortable with you. Why do you have to be so public? I realize that. It's coming from a good place, but I can't be shy just because other people are shy. I mean, I am somewhat shy by nature, but I just think let other people scream then. I don't know. Then I'll shut up. Everybody else is screaming, I'll shut up. I'll listen. If they're screaming things that I agree with ideologically. And I'll sit back and I'll sit in a lawn chair, okay? I'll go on vacation. I'll retire. Until that happens, either convince me that I'm wrong or give me strength. And I say this for all my friends. I'll say his name another time. Erez Shmuel Amzalag, for example. Mordechai Shemel, another Rabbi Miller. People that are going places, rising stars. And you. Be a rising star in your world. Be that. Okay, look at this beautiful Rashis, okay? I didn't even get to Chassidus yet. Okay, I got Chassidus on the negative aspect, and this is the flip side of it. It's beautiful. Quotes the pasuk in Dvarim, V'ra'u kol ha'aretz kishem havaya nikra lecha v'yarum. They're going to fear you. That's what's filling, okay? They're going to fear you. All the voices are going to shut up when you put the sign of God on your most vulnerable spots, the intimate moment, the intimate place within you. When that's covered with filling and you're devoted, me, Kam Kol Yisrael, Goyach Ha'aretz, or Shema Yisrael, from our perspective, we're just praising God. We're totally devoted to God. That's on the most vulnerable part of a person's body as a baby, the most vulnerable stage of a person's life and development. The Malbim, okay, I can't resist Malbim. Speaks about scarlet or crimson, caramel, gaman, melech asur hatin, halay hamelech shleima asur hati tehem, chavle ava. Chavle ava. Is that the birth pangs of love? And you cannot move. You're totally transfixed, like stuck within, I don't know, handcuffs, rizikim, I don't know, shackles. That's beautiful. I wish I had an English translation of that because it's a bit on the fly. Shlomo Melech, who's the author of Shir Shirim, Haloish Hamelech Shlomo Asur Birhatehem. He binds. I don't know exactly how to translate this. Birhatehem in their tresses, or however you want to translate the gutters, or their binds. Bechavle Ha'ava. I think that means. I thought it was spelled differently, but with the chaf, Chavle Ha'ava. Birth pangs of love, or pangs of love. Lo yuchal isnanea. You cannot budge. Belada. You cannot be taken away from your transfixed. And look at what Rambam says about true love is romantic love to God. Look it up if you don't believe me. And these words completely describe that in the most beautiful poetic language coming from the Malbim again. I just knew to go to him now that he's got this incredible take on things. You can't budge. You're transfixed. Your kid's transfixed like da. Show them the beauty of the Torah. Be a unified front in your house where both parents treasure the same things. It's so important to back each other up. Encourage your kids to go to shuls that you believe in, where the message there is, it's not just about ceremony. There's something meaningful happening there. Encourage that. He goes on. It's incredible stuff. I'm just getting worried about. It's 10:30 already. Okay, we promised to get to the Rav Nachman. I'm going to skip the next album. It's very beautiful, but I just don't have time. I'm sorry. Look it up. Translate yourself. If you want to contribute a translation, please post it. I think everyone can benefit from that. I have a translation of Likutei Moharan. Okay, I've never learned this. This is live, coming to you. It's lengthy. I'm going to read it fast. I'm sorry. And no, every single person merits receiving greatness, standing before a mountain, right? Is that your threshold? Are you standing before a mountain? Is that the expanse that awaits you, or is it a very confined space? Is that your threshold? Every person merits receiving greatness commensurate with the shining of his mentalities, as in a melech bound their hatim, tresses, Song of Songs, inside the rahate of the mind. You're trapped in your mind. In other words, the concept of malchus, greatness, is bound and tied in the compartments of the mind. Your trauma, the voices that are telling you, don't believe in yourself, you're not cutting edge. That's for other people, that's for Matisyahu. It's not for Isa Matisyahu. He was a normal person. He was intense. He had passion. He was awesome. He was very talented, a rising star. But he was a normal person. And then he signed with Sony. It's going to happen to every single person, and you're going to use it only for holiness, I promise you. I promise you, that is what Mashiach is. Mashiach is signing you in for Sony. That's what Mashiach means. When you get that in your life, that's Mashiach in your life, and you're going to use that to spread light, because the successes are intended for that, to you to shine another person. I know the good people are doing that. They're the ones that should get the brachas. Okay, everyone should get brachas. But the cream of the crop, the ultimate treasure of God, has to be distributed to those who are bringing light to the world. They need to see it now because they need to know the Shekhinah is with them. That's the whole point of this time, okay? So you have to have purity, you have to have integrity, follow the Torah in every respect. Don't think that you're smarter than the Shulchan Aruch. Don't think that. Follow every detail. Just be so romantic about it that you're saying, this is my everything. This is my tresses that I'm bound and I'm transfixed by this beautiful Shekhinah. Okay, that's worth repeating. In other words, the concept of Malchus greatness is bound and tied in the compartments of the mind. You're trapped. You have a vision of what's Malchus, what's Mashiach, your Nitzitz Mashiach in you, and you're bound to it. What? bound and tied the compartments of the mind so that he receives greatness commensurate with the shining of the mentalities. When you focus on that goal, you're going to open up greatness in you. That's beautiful. I'm not ashamed to teach that. I don't know why people are so worried if you're going to quote Breslov sources. I think that totally resonates with Chabad. I don't know what the fear is, because I'm going to wear a funny yarmulke. What, that's the fear? I do wear a funny yarmulke when I'm in certain scenarios. Why? I like to. I feel comfortable in it. Are you going to judge me about that? It's ridiculous. I think it's so weird that people they call people by the type of yarmulke, a knitted yarmulke. I think that's a bit embarrassing. Sorry. It doesn't describe a movement of Mizrahi. I don't know. I'm not so worldly. I don't know about all these movements. I don't know what they represent really. I know it's about Zionism and pride of the land. I think that's beautiful. So I do not have a problem with that either. I don't know. I don't see why we have to be so judgmental, so concerned about whether it smacks too much of this or that. People are going to think that I'm Breslov or Mizrahi, or I don't know. I love Israel. I could cry thinking about Israel. I don't know if that's bragging. I don't really want to brag because God's already punishing me about that, right? He doesn't like anything humility. Humility has to be the ultimate. Okay, my father's very big on that, and he's right. Ma'id ma'id, you have to be. Rambam says, very, very humble. If anything even is conceived as not being humble, you probably shouldn't say it. I'm talking to myself because I don't know. I have this idea though. Like on the other hand, you just have to come out like a lion, a roaring lion. That's what the world needs. And I really believe that. So I'm stuck in this threshold, but I think I want to stand before a mountain as opposed to a constrictive space. That's my tendency. I'm weighing both. Thank you. It's beautiful to hear that. Thank you. I'm going to read another two, I think, and then I'm going to let everyone go for a great day. This is because revealing original Torah insights draws them godliness, as it were, as it is written, and let them take from me a donation. That is, when you want to take and draw me down, it is possible only through Torah. It's not just about, you want to talk about donations, about tzedakah? It's through Torah. That's the greatest gift, isn't it? That's the donation. What is the word in Hebrew? Yikuli truma. The cream of the crop, the thing that rises to the top, the truma. That's the donation what we give to the Mishkan, the holy sanctuary. If you want to make a donation, it's through Torah, says Reb Nachman. I can't believe I've never said it in my life. Through the Torah we draw him down, as it were. And to where is godliness drawn? Into the mind of the listener. It changes people. The $18 doesn't help the person. He needs it to live. Someone asked me for $40 for food. Okay, I know this guy, I'm not giving him $40 for food. I'll give him a job. I don't know. I've offered him a job many, many times. I've offered many people jobs many, many times. Nobody's taken a job. I don't know. You explain it. We're trapped in our minds. Make your mind open to good things. Health in every respect. Through the Torah we draw him down, God down, as it were. And to where is godliness drawn? Into the mind of the listener. Even though the listener who we're listening to, the one who hears the Torah, that's where you're drawing godliness into the mind of the listener. I got the word meicha. Okay, this is probably stemming from that, right? I don't know. That's the Tikkun Zera that I was quoting before from Tanya. He used the word Mayach Hashem. Okay, that's a bit far-fetched. Even though this is a captivity, okay, the word, as in king is bound in Rahati. Maybe he is darshaning that. It's being grasped. You're constricting, Yachol. Bechinas melech aser v'rahatim. Verhitim meichin. He does quote it. Tikkun Zera. Hatikunin Tikkun Vav Daf Hey. He quotes that. Okay, yeah, it does. It's the case. Asur Daika, because I put that verse in Sefaria. Look it up. I have all those verses there. Asur Daika Shema Shenim Shakal Kusi Spark of Yachol Hitim Leichin. Specifically bound. That is his godliness is drawn down, so to speak, into the compartments of the mind. Is the concept of captivity, corresponding to you took a captive. Shavisa Shevi. Pasuk in Tillim. Nonetheless, it pleases God that he is drawn down, so to speak, through the Torah, even though it is akin to captivity. even though you're forcing God into a state, when you say Torah, you're forcing God, and he doesn't like to be forced, so I guess. But he does like it. It pleases God. What's the exact words? It says, even though you're grasping Hashem, you can't be grasped, right? But through Torah, you are grasping Hashem in this sense, and Tanya gives other exceptions to the rule also. Torah mitzvahs is basically other tefisa. You grasp God through connecting at a very essential, fundamental level of submission, accepting the yoke of heaven, right? You grasp God through doing the mitzvahs, recognizing that. Okay, so even though you put Hashem in captivity, Shavisi Shevi, I've captivated you, God, but that's the beauty. You've made God transfixed by the matranissa. You become representing the Shekhinah, the beauty to God, and God just wants to shower. That's the Harikesim Lochem Bracha Ad Blidai. Harikesi, I pour out Bracha Ad Blidai Sheyidu Sifsaseichel Milam Ardai, till your lips are sore from saying enough already. I want you to be worthy to have any more from you, shining upon me. Okay, one or two more. I think one more. No, I got two more. Okay, maybe we'll just stop with one more. It's getting very late. Okay, this one's a bit hard. I'm going to skip that one. Skip that one. Here's another. Oh, here's one about Mashiach. Kisham Sheresh Hamelech Mashiach. This is the source of King Mashiach. V'chinas Melech Asur B'Hatim. Captivating God in tresses, in your beauty. Arhiti Meichim. By the mind of Nachman interprets it to mean, or here it's translated that way. Quotes the Tikkun Azar again. By your mindset, the beauty of your approach to life, your ideologies that you take on, that's what God sees as beautiful. Not whether you have a nice nose. That's what God sees beauty in. It's awesome. And look how beautifully romantic it is. And it connects it to the tefillin and the straps of that he translates here as lashes him, corresponds to the mind's extraneous elements. The straps, which are the extraneous element of the mind, the intelligent will discern that these two lessons, the gravity of prohibition against robbery and lesson concerning losing one's wealth on account of anger, are linked and related. They're joint. I think this is someone's commentary on this. Yeah, it's in brackets. Eliyahu binds him and God lashes him. Oh my goodness, that's how it starts. I skipped that part. Oh, Ken Amru Rabbi Seinu Zichreinu L'Bracha Eliyahu Kaifsai Kadosh Baruch Hu Reitzai. Eliyahu Kippah puts him in a dome, in a prison. Kadosh Baruch Hu Reitzai. He lashes him with the tefillin. Eliyahu binds him, God lashes him. This alludes to the mind and the extraneous elements of the mind. Remember we spoke about that about Yosef. We had a source that said the same thing about Yosef. It was the Alter Rebbe that time. Binds him corresponds to the mind, the aspect of tefillin. This is as in a king is bound in tresses. Locks. Are you locked in the tresses? Are you bound in the tresses? Are they locks? Are they hair? You'd give out to Kunedikna, the beard of God? The Sheshbina de Matronissa is kindness and bringing you close to God, or bringing us together to approach God. Okay, I'm going wild. That was the most beautiful moment that I've had in a long time. Okay, I said as part of my mission, I want to get into Shir Shirim, and now I had Reb Nachman take my hand on the journey through it. That was awesome. And the Rashi was beautiful, and the Malbim. Okay, I'm thankful to God. I think that was beautiful. I'm not complimenting myself. The Torah, that the sources I think are just beautiful, and I'm trying to show a way to see the beauty in it. So see it through my eyes if yours don't resonate. If you're so cynical that when someone writes a haiku, you just say da 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 da, trying to shut me up. I know it's meant well because you're trying to bond with me. It's my older brother punching me in the shoulder, so to speak, because he hasn't said anything negative about my art, never. But he used to punch me in the shoulder, so I know what that means. That's why people do that. Your friends, I mean. Your close ones, like your family members. Well, actually, that was my brother. Maybe it's the same thing. If people are afraid to embrace you, so they reject you, to show that they're afraid to really open up. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's where it comes from. It comes from a really good place, like being punched in the shoulder by your brother who loves you. Asher Meza. Beautiful to see you, Neza. Rabbi Neza, my friend. Okay, so I had a really fun time. Thank you for joining me. Have a great, blessed Sunday. I think Sundays are a really great opportunity to just extend Shabbos, in a sense. The panemius of Shabbos can like unfold and blossom, I think, on Sundays, because for some reason that's where our culture became. Sunday's a vacation day. So like live what your dream on Sunday. Celebrate the things that you value. And try and include people with that as much as you can. I think that's it's a good way to bond, especially when you hear other people and try and bond with them and things that they're into. Okay, this is just common sense, but I'm just using it as means to calm down. My air conditioner went off too, so I should be more proactive. Exercise agency in my life. Figure out how to turn this thing on. I can't. It's not turning on. Stupid. Come on. Well, if I try to drive, maybe I would have to turn on. Let's try that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, everyone. Have a great, blessed day, miraculous day, good day, revealed good in the world. If your message is that, which I know there's certain people on the cutting edge that are of humanity that want to bring that light to the world, I wish you tremendous success. And it should go. I don't want to tell you they shouldn't have the burden piled on you, because I know the Yum Yum is against it, and I spoke about that last time. But it should make you stronger, that burden, and then you'll just blaze. Have a great day.